is in UK is also a very strong pillar of this friendship. So I'm really delighted and happy that I'm here. During this visit, I will be trying to explore opportunities of more cooperation between Pakistan and UK in higher education, because under Udan Pakistan program, one of the key priorities that we have set up for ourselves is investing in the youth of Pakistan for giving them best education, giving them the skills that we need in the new industrial economy 4.0 or 5.0, because many of the technologies that we see today are likely to become redundant in next 10 to 15 years, and many emerging technologies which are at the periphery are going to become mainstream of production and our economic production. So it is imperative that we develop very strong human resource for future development of Pakistan. I hope that in this visit we will be able to further expand the US-Pakistan knowledge platform that we created and established in our previous tenure between 2013 and 2018. And now we are in the second phase. In this phase, I look forward to more partnership between UK universities and Pakistan universities. As far as Udan Pakistan initiative is concerned, this initiative was launched on 31st December 2024 by Prime Minister and his government, because we feel that Pakistan now once again is at an inflection point. We have seen three trajectories of Udan in the past crashed, which did not continue to their logical conclusion. The first time Pakistan took a flight of growth trajectory was in 60s, when it was acclaimed to be the next Japan of Asia. But unfortunately, after 1965 war, we got derailed. The second time Pakistan took Udan was in 1991, when the first government of Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif introduced policies of deregulation, liberalization of economy, privatization, and an opening up of the economy by cutting many regulations in government. That created a lot of euphoria. It brought investments into Pakistan, and Pakistan took very high growth trajectory. But unfortunately, that Udan also got crashed after his government was dismissed in 2 years. And interestingly, at that time, Mr. Manmohan Singh, who was the finance minister, he got the SROs of those reforms from Mr. Sartaj Aziz, who was Mr. Nawaz Sharif's finance minister. And India implemented the same reforms over the next decade. And by 2000, they overtook Pakistan. The third Udan happened during 2013-18. In 2013, when we came into government, the country was facing worst nightmare of 18 hours of power shortages. Not a day would go by when there was not a suicide bomber blasting himself in some part of the country. Pakistan's economy had come to a halt, and Newsweek had put Pakistan on its title page as the most dangerous country in the world. From there, we revived the economy. We presented Vision 2025, in which we set the goal of putting Pakistan in top 25 economies by 2025. And in 3 to 4 years, we completely not only turned around Pakistan, but achieved a growth rate of 6%, which, according to PricewaterhouseCoopers, who forecasted that if Pakistan continued on this trajectory, by 2030 it will be in the top 20 economies. But in 2018, again, this trajectory got disrupted with a change that was thrust on Pakistan by some judges and generals who disqualified Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and brought in a totally inexperienced leader who had not run even a local government. As a result, all the policies, governments can come and go, but I think the national policies should continue. But the new government discontinued all the policies that were done by us. As a result, that momentum also crashed. So in April 2022, when we again came back to government, and I can share some facts from my own ministry, being I left in 2018 as planning minister, and in April 2022 I came back as planning minister. So what I inherited was that 20 days before our coming into office, Finance Ministry had refused to release the last quarter of development budget because they had no money. So Pakistan, unfortunately, internally had defaulted on 1st of April 2022 because Ministry of Finance had no money to release the last quarter of development budget, last quarter release of development quarter. So that was the Pakistan that we again inherited, and this had not even happened during the nuclear sanctions that were imposed on us in 1998. I was also in planning ministry at that time. We were able to meet our obligations of development budget for the whole year despite international sanctions. But as I said, in April 22, 1st of April, we came into government on 20th or 22nd April. On 1st, Finance Ministry had clearly said that they have no money to give for the last quarter. So this is where we started our journey, and I think the Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif must get credit that he took very bold decisions. He showed a lot of courage, and credit should also go to the 12 coalition partners who stood very firmly in wake of very challenging times, and they extended support to government to implement the reform agenda, as a result of which today, after 2 years, we can very proudly say that by the grace of God, Pakistan is back on track again. Inflation has dropped from 38% to 4%. The policy rate has dropped from 23% to 13%. Similarly, stock market, which had crashed to 30,000 index, is today 115,000 plus, has made new records, which shows that investor community is showing complete confidence in the direction and in the decisions that government is taking. Similarly, our exports are showing growth of 30%. Remittances are showing growth of more than 30%. IT exports are growing at 34% plus. So all major economic indicators are now beginning to show again a positive trajectory. So on this momentum, we have crafted this plan that we would like now the 4th Udan to be decisive Udan for Pakistan. And our eyes are on 2047. The year when in our region 2 countries will celebrate their centennials. And at that time, we want to make our youth or young generation proud before history that Pakistan should stand at its centennial as among top 10 to 15 economies of the world. That is possible, that is doable. We must learn lessons from our history, that why we failed in last 3 Udans, and we should not let 4th Udan become victim of those factors. If we look at other countries which did well, for example, Malaysia, Korea, Thailand, Taiwan, China, Japan, Turkey, 4 elements are common in each success story. Each of these countries had peace. Each of these countries had political stability. Each of these countries ensured decade-long continuity of policy. and each of these countries had a strong commitment for reform. They had a reform agenda. So I think now time has come that Pakistan also has to go on path of stability, continuity of policies, and a firm commitment to a reform agenda that we have given under Udan Pakistan. And let me say this, Udan Pakistan, we don't think is government's agenda. It is an agenda of 20, 40 million people, and every Pakistani is part of this program, and we are going to every segment of society to give them ownership of this program. Governments will come and go, but Pakistan has to grow. So therefore, this is one area where we think that Pakistani diaspora can also play a very important role. Because if you look at the history of success stories in the world, be it India, Malaysia, China, Singapore, in each case, their overseas population played a key role. They brought in ideas, they brought in technology, they brought in innovation, they brought in investments. So I think our diaspora, which is based in UK, has great talent, they have great resources, they have experience which Pakistan can greatly benefit from. So we are now also launching in this visit Udan Pakistan, Overseas Pakistanis program, in which we are creating a network of champions of reform. So any Pakistani who has a talent or a skill to contribute back home will be able to connect with us and be able to contribute towards policy making and implementation of programs. And if he or she wants to do any project in Pakistan, we will provide all possible assistance to facilitate that Pakistani professional to contribute towards development of Pakistan. We are also starting an internship program for Pakistani youth overseas, so that during summer they can connect with Udan Pakistan and they can also use their education, their experience, and make contribution towards Pakistan. So we look forward to building a very strong bridge between Pakistan and the overseas Pakistani community to make sure that this Udan Pakistan program, which is for the future of Pakistan, which is to give Pakistan a solid, sustained growth trajectory to achieve the goal of becoming a $1 trillion economy by 2035 and a $3 trillion economy by 2047. It is doable, but it will only happen through positive synergy of the nation. And therefore we hope and we look forward to Pakistani diaspora also in UK making their very valuable contribution. And I'm really very happy and pleased that Mr. Yassin Saab has been appointed as Special Envoy for Trade with Pakistan, and I hope that he will be a very important bridge for us to materialize many of the goals that we have set up in our program for building a strong bridge with community in UK. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Saab. And of course, I'll do my best with the cooperation of the government here in Pakistan and both High Commissioners, Dr. Saab here and Jane Mary in Islamabad. So we'll be joined by two colleagues, Nashina Mubarak from House of Lords, and also Yasmin Qureshi, Member of Parliament for Bolton, who is also the chair of Pakistan All-Party Parliamentary Group. So I will open the floor. So I'll ask the colleagues first if they have any questions. I'm sure Nashina normally have burning questions, so I'll go to you, Nashina, first.
Well, thank you so much. I think what I really enjoyed hearing was that there's a vision, there's a target, there's 1947, and how to get there. And clearly you've thought a lot about it, and you've put things in place and certain measures in terms of economic growth. I just wanted to say that one of the key challenges that the UK has and Pakistan has is a cheap and reliable source of energy. I mean, I think for any economy, that is the key thing. And you have a good energy mix, I believe, but I'd like to just understand that a little bit better, and you know, and the whole thing about the green agenda and how that can actually hold things back, and the coal reserves and fossil fuels, and what is your thinking around that?
I think you've asked a very important question. Let me also clarify that at the heart of this Udan Pakistan is a 5 E's framework, which we think addresses Pakistan's key challenges. Pakistan's #1 challenge is that in 77 years, we have not. So in last 77 years, we have not been able to develop a strong export-led growth model in Pakistan. As a result, every time we grow, we have more appetite to consume imports, but no capacity to earn dollars. And then there is a huge trade deficit, and we have to then apply emergency brakes and cut down or slash our growth again. So it has been a boom and bust cycles. So the #1 challenge that we have now focused, and we have identified 8 areas: agriculture, industry, services, IT, manpower, mining, blue economy, and creative industries. So these are 8 drivers that we have identified, and we have sectoral plans in these areas to develop exports. The second E relates to e-Pakistan, because now we are into an age where technology is going to redefine every production, every activity we perform. So we have to embrace the new techno-economy challenge by digital transformation, and also by embedding like generative artificial intelligence, other technologies into our not only education, health, but every segment of our economy and society. The third E relates to environment and climate change, because we are the 7th most vulnerable country as far as climate change is concerned. So we have the challenge to address water security and the food security issue. And we are now very aggressively taking up the challenge of adaptability of our infrastructure so that we address the issue of water security. And also we are now modernizing the agriculture so that we can have smart agriculture, we can have more weather resistant varieties. We are sending 1,000 agriculture researchers and scientists to China, because China has done an amazing job in terms of integrating technology into their agriculture. And you have recently seen what DeepSeek has done. So they have really developed technology applications in agriculture also. So we are sending this year 1,000 young Pakistani agriculture graduates and scientists to learn from them technology applications in agriculture sector so that we modernize agriculture. The fourth E, as you said, relates to energy and infrastructure. And in energy, our focus is on, first of all, bringing in efficiency, cutting down the losses, because our energy prices have gone up largely due to the inefficiencies of the distribution companies and the losses. So we are implementing a power sector reform program to cut down the losses, make it efficient, and through efficiency, making it affordable, and at the same time, cutting our reliance on imported fuel. So government is very aggressively promoting solarization in the country because we have abundance of solar energy in Pakistan. Pakistan also has a huge coal deposit in Thar, which is good for 400 years, and whose energy value is equivalent to Saudi Arabia and Iran's oil. So, I mean, we want to use it because this is the cheapest source of energy, but every plant that we are putting up there is also environmentally friendly. It complies to environmental standards, so that we use coal not just for cheap energy, but also make sure that our environment is protected. Our fifth E relates to equity, ethics, and empowerment. In equity, we are addressing education, health, and population planning as important interventions for cutting poverty in the country, because we think that these are the three drivers of poverty in the country. So we have a whole plan on education, on health, and on population planning, through which we want to make sure that our population, which unfortunately has started to rise after 30 years. We were on a downward trajectory, but in the last 5-year census that we did in 2023, we found that its growth has gone from 2.45% to 2.5%. It has actually increased. So that is a very worrisome trend, so we are really focused on that. On empowerment side, we have targeted two groups on which we have very targeted programs, youth and women. Because no economy has shown development, achieving fast development, unless there is 50% plus female workforce participation rate in that economy. So ours is 23%. So we are very aggressively working on girls' education, on skill training to female population, providing them microcredit, providing them loans to start their businesses, so that we are able to bridge this gap. So this is a very holistic agenda that covers not just the economic dimensions, but also the social imperatives of development, because we believe that in order to have a sustained growth, we need a very balanced socio-economic platform.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, so just 2 points. Taking from what Michelle was saying about the energy sector, and you talked about the large reservoir of coal in Perth. I am assuming that Pakistan is going to extract all of that, and I think you're saying that you're making